Welcome back to another episode of Cobra Kai Companion. I'm Peter. You guys, we finally got him. It took him a minute. Very high profile actor. For the first time joining the podcast, we have Dallas Dupree Young, who plays Kenny. How you doing, Dallas?
Hey, I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I am doing good. So I don't have a long time with you, so we're gonna get like a truncated version of an interview, learn a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who follow you know that you are, know who your father is, and I'll try to keep names kind of out of it, that kind of thing. Um, I know that you were born in Houston, and growing up, maybe there were some aspirations of baseball. Can you talk about like growing up and coming from a family of athletes at what point did you splinter off into deciding to get into acting?
Yeah. Whenever I was about 5 years old is when I first started training for baseball. That was literally my entire goal to be a professional baseball player and follow in my dad and my brother's footsteps. So my dad and I would train like at 6 o'clock in the morning before school every morning. Every single morning that I have practice late at night. Like that's all I wanted. And all I was determined to do was be the best baseball player there was to ever walk the face of the earth. That's what I used to say whenever I was younger. But coming from a family of athletes, that was our mindset. It was always about sports. I was a multi-sport athlete. I played baseball, football, and basketball growing up, and that's literally just what I wanted to do. Continue into middle school, high school, college, and then so forth. And then next thing you know, I get a phone call talking about I have to. Well, not even I have to, but I get the opportunity to do like this kind of audition showcase in Houston for kids that have the opportunity to become an actor. And I had a neighbor who was actually in the movie Max. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but I had a neighbor's name is Josh Wiggins, and he literally told me about the whole thing with acting, and I was actually very intrigued and interested. And then next, I got to move on to the next level with the LA Showcase, and I met a bunch of managers, agents, and the next thing you know, I became an actor just like that.
Just
But
like that. One of the
I'm an actor.
one of the shows that I read that you credit as like kind of being one of your shows growing up was Family Matters.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yep.
I don't know if you're able to touch on this, but you're also going to be in something called Urkel Saves Christmas coming up.
I was. This was like one of the craziest opportunities I've ever had, just because of the fact that I was a fan of Family Matters growing up, and I loved Urkel. Like there was nothing better than Urkel. And then whenever I got the opportunity to meet Jalil White on the set of the Big Show, he's just such an intellectual human being and so just inspiring, and he's such a great guy. And it was really good getting some words of wisdom from him. But being able to do the Urkel Family Christmas, I know it's a little voice overall. I'm there for a few seconds, and I got to sing. I got to sing in it, so it was really exciting for me. It was really exciting for me to just to do that and have fun.
Alice, do you sing? Do we know that about you?
I don't really sing, but I'm getting a little bit better. I'm trying to.
Who is somebody whose songs do you like to sing? Who's the person that's bankable every time that person's song comes on, you're singing along.
Chris Brown,
Chris Brown,
easily.
okay. Be breezy.
Any Chris Brown song, I'm singing in the car. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
It, there are a lot of his songs are earworms. It's kind of hard not to bop to them. And I remember the days of Kiss Kiss and Run It. Like that's I'm
Right.
old school Chris Brown. Like I'm older. I'm an old head. So um I to kind of move touch on this on Family Matters, and we'll move it along because I also kind of grew up on that. I was kind of a Myra guy, so like kind of envied Steve Urkel a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, so now the other thing I read about you is that you credit Denzel Washington as also being an inspiration. What was the one role or movie that said this is the guy that's inspiring me?
The one movie was John Q.
Oh, okay.
Was John Q. I think the way he embodied a father who was literally going to do whatever it takes to save his son's life. It was just such a special masterpiece, and just be able to watch it and observe all of his movements, his actions, and the relationships with the other characters. You could just see why he is the best to ever do, one of the best to ever do it. And after that movie, another movie that I even love, like American Gangster. Like he was able to embody a character of like a real human being who, Frank Lucas story. That's something that everybody needs to know. So yeah, I thought that was really important. But yeah, John Q was the movie.
Don Q was good. I think, that's a rare everyday man character, for Denzel. And RIP Ray Liotta, who was also in the film as the like police commissioner or something like that. That's a really good movie, and I think that's kind of underseen, a little underrated. I think more people need to watch that one for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't Eddie Griffin in that one also? Am I mistaken?
Who was Andy Griffith? I think he is actually.
I think he's like a comedic relief a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think so.
I might need to revisit. That's like that was didn't that come out the year you were born, like 2006?
Was that 2006 or was it before? It might have
Making me
been.
do a little homework here. Let me see.
Yeah.
I brought it up. I might as well look it up real quick. I feel it is early aughts. Like I could be wrong here. John Q. 2002. You're even earlier.
Two. Okay.
We're talking about 22 years now.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Robert Duvall. My bad. Yeah, that's a really good cast. Yeah. Is there what's a movie if you could choose to remake of Denzel's? Which is what role would you like to do? The Coach Boone?
oh, for me to play.
Uh-huh.
Remember, oh my gosh, remember the Titans.
Remember the times? Yeah, yeah, Coach Boone. Yeah, that's a good role.
It has to be. It literally has to be Coach Boone. Like there's no other way to put it because sports has been in my life since I was growing up. So being able to uh, reprise that role for him, that would be crazy.
What was the line that he says to was it um to the one player on the wait, right outside the bus? He's like, "Is this your team? Is this your daddy's team?"
Oh yeah,
Like, you know that
uh,
line? Do
absolutely.
you have a Denzel impression that you do at all? There's got to be something, a little.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
You do the point?
Oh, ain't got it on me. That was gotta
Okay.
be.
Training Day, classic. Was a
Yeah,
classic one.
that'd be my favorite one. I think that's that whole entire speech, and then he did a speech kind of similar to that in Equalizer 3 as well.
Oh, okay.
Whenever he was talking to the cops and everything, they were about to arrest him, and it was kind of like a kind of playing direct homage to his moment in Training Day, and he was yelling at them just like that. So
Okay.
everybody watching it is having the vibes of Training Day while we're watching Equalizer 3. And I'm looking at it. I forgot the words that he said, but it was really dope to see him do that as well.
Yeah, I saw the first one. So you're saying two and three are worth a watch?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
It was like for me, the first one, the second one's the best. The first one's the second best, and then the third one's the last best. But they're all really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know if Denzel has a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't know
Well,
either.
I mean, I don't think he has a bad performance. Bad movie, that's subjective.
Right,
Yeah.
very, very true.
You know,
People have opinions about certain things. So
did you watch any of the earlier stuff like Philadelphia?
that's
With
a watch. I have not watched that yet, but having
yeah,
Tom Hanks in him is crazy.
yeah. Yeah, it's that's a great one. Because like Denzel was a bankable actor for me too. Like I watched just about everything he did back in the day. Bone Collector, with Angelina Jolie,
Yep.
also kind of underseen. But
Yep.
he doesn't do a whole lot. I think he's bedridden like most of the movie. He's just on the
Mm-hmm.
radio.
Right.
This might be a good segue here into Cobra Kai, but did you know The Equalizer was based off of a TV show called The Equalizer?
The Equalizer movie was based off of a TV show called The Equalizer.
Correct.
Are you serious? I had no
Yeah,
idea. I only
yeah,
know about the movie, and then they came back with another show called The Equalizer.
Queen Latifah, right? Yeah, the original show, like this small up and coming actor, you might know him. Some people call him Billy Zabka.
Are you being serious?
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
Billy was in. Nah,
yeah.
was
Billy was in The Equalizer. You did not know this.
I
Oh,
had
so you're gonna have to shoot a text message after this. Be like, how
right?
did you?
Like what? I had no idea.
Yeah, he played this. Was it the son? McCall. See, I should have had all this information up for you. It
What?
was it 1985 to 89. He played Scott McCall. It's an Equalizer.
Wow, that's
Let's see
actually
if I can pull up a picture for you right quick. Yeah, that's that show I did not watch, but I was familiar with it only because of uh covering Cobra Kai,
Hmm.
and I'm not seeing any pictures of him offhand. It's the because it's he plays the son of the lead. That's the thing. Um
That's dope though.
I definitely went through the link, but that's crazy. They don't even have any pictures of him on here. But if you Google it, I'm sure it'll show up. But when you like auditioned for Cobra Kai, were you already familiar with the show or the movie Karate Kid?
Yeah, so I was already familiar with Karate Kid, but I did not. So the funny thing about Cobra Kai, I had heard that it had become a show, but I didn't know
Uh-huh.
how popular it was. Even whenever it was on YouTube, like I had no idea too much about it, but I just knew that they had started to become a show called, Cobra Kai. And I'm gonna be honest, this is so funny. I have not never told anybody this, but you're gonna be the first because I just thought about it. The only reason why I knew Cobra Kai had become a show was because I remember whenever they did a commercial one time, it was back in like 2018 with Martin Cove, and he was doing Koala Kai. He was like making
Yeah.
that's literally the only reason why I knew Cobra Kai is back. Because I was like, Koala Kai. And I looked it up and I was like, at that point, it was only one season of Cobra Kai. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't even know they were doing it. I think that's like why it's so surreal that I was able to be a part of that ensemble because in the moment I was just looking, I was just like, oh, like they got Cobra Kai back. Like, that's cool. But yeah, no, I was familiar with Karate Kid. I had watched the first Karate Kid whenever I was growing up because I did martial arts for a little while. And that was one of
Saw
my
a
home.
picture.
Yep.
I think your mom just posted one recently. Was you an orange belt?
Me, I was a little orange belt. Yep. So I had watched Karate Kid. Um, oh, there it is. Oh,
So for
it's
those
not.
that are listening at
I
home,
see
I'm
it. There
showing
you go.
him a picture of a Billy on the set of Equalizer. That's so he played the son of the I think that's who Denzel's supposed to be. This
Really?
man right there.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. No, that is really cool. Oh, that's real cool. So
Well,
yeah,
Kai,
but
I remember that commercial. It was like for Quicken. It's like
there you go.
right.
That's exactly what it was. Because I remember seeing he was like, I'm opening up Koala Kai. And I was like, Koala Kai? I thought it was called Cobra Kai. And then I looked it up. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I was aware of Karate Kid though, and I just didn't know too much about Cobra Kai.
The fourth season where you do show up, there's a bit of reversal. You're kind of the Daniel LaRusso character. His son is the bully. Um, you're currently back in school right now. It has any of that like filtered into like your like the school? Like is anybody referencing scenes of Kenny from Cobra Kai, like the bathroom stall or even more recently like the porta potty? Any of that stuff is coming up in school?
Absolutely. So I started school 2 weeks ago, and I'm hearing about it nonstop. Especially so I go to a K through 12 school, so I see all like middle schoolers as well, 24/7, and they're always bringing up references like from the show and everything. That especially the ones that pop up on TikTok. So they're always talking about the porta potty scene. They're always talking about whenever there's a new trend that's been going around on TikTok about whenever I say faux hawk to Hawk whenever he's on the ground, like dying after I hit him with the silver bullet. So yeah, nah, people come up to me all the time about that.
Yeah. Um, at least they're not cruel about it, right? I mean, I know, the whole bullying thing, like nobody's being mean about it. They're kind of poking fun. If it were me in school, I think it'd be kind of cool. Like Dallas plays Kenny on like the show that I love. If anything, it's probably just like some ribbing, right? Just a little
I
love.
remember my sophomore year, somebody came up to me and was just like, I had never met them before, and he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, you think you can fight a little bit, huh?" He's like, I'm literally just trying to get to my fourth period, and he was doing this, and I was like, he was like, "What you gonna hit me with the crane kick?" And I was just like, "Nah, bro, that's all you." I was like, "That's all you." And then he actually ended up being cool, and I actually talked to him now and going into my senior year, which is funny. But yeah, no, he was messing with me first. I was like, bro, I don't even know you. I haven't even met you yet. You talking about fighting me? But yeah, he real cool people.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty fun to have somebody from the show like go to your school too. Just I can only imagine what it's like. So Kenny was mainly Cobra Kai for at least up until the end of season 5, and then being under Terry Silver and some of Kreese. You as Dallas, like who do you think was a really good sensei for Kenny? Someone very effective.
And this is out of the four sentences that I've had.
If you want to include them, but the other ones that we've only seen like a very, I guess you can include them, yeah, because like we had Mike Barnes for a little bit in one episode, season 6. Why don't you include them all?
Well, you know what? No, I don't need to include him because Terry Silver was the best for him, in my
Okay,
opinion.
yeah.
He's the one that really kind of allowed him to embrace his inner strength and figure out why he is a natural born leader because of everything that he's gone through, and then he used that to um, make him one of the top competitors in Cobra Kai, especially for season 5, and he uplifted him every time. And although he did take situations too far, especially with Anthony Russo and trying to beat everybody up, he taught him how to be a fierce competitor and how to uh, figure out ways to win in any way possible.
You think Kenny also embraced someone like a Terry Silver because his father is serving abroad?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Especially, Terry Silver knows what it's like to be elsewhere and fight in the army and not be present back in the household. Like he understands it. So being able to connect with somebody that you look to as a father figure in that sense, and somebody who all he wants for you to do is succeed in life. Kenny really gravitated towards that because he doesn't get to see his father often.
Now, baseball isn't a game I follow all that well, in a sense where I don't really know the rules or even how many games are in a season. Is your father gone often because of baseball?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So so there are 162 games every year. So my dad leaves in, and this has been since I was about 5 years old, 4 to 5 years old. He's been coaching, and I'm 17, about to turn 18 now. So he leaves in February, and so he went to the World Series this one year and won it with the Atlanta Braves in 2021. So his schedule was from February to November 5th.
wow.
Yeah, and then take the 4 months off, and you're back again.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I did 10 years in the army, and I know what that did for my oldest son. And
Mhm.
so, with your father being gone, were you able to kind of tap into that a little bit for the role of Kenny?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel like that made it a different way to connect with him. Like it was more important to me to understand that relationship between him and his dad and him and Terry Silver because I understood what it's like to you don't have your dad around all the time. He's not in the household 24/7, but at the end of the day, he's doing what he got to do. He's doing what he loves, and I appreciate that. And I look up to him. So I'm watching all of his moves and everything, and I get to have constant conversation with him. But you I feel like Kenny's yearning for having that father figure. I was able to connect with that in that moment whenever I was really locked in with Kenny, figure out that mentality. But yeah, it made that easier to understand the relationship between him and Terry Silver.
Now, your Kenny's relationship with uh Anthony, I have to make sure I get all the names correct here. With Anthony is obviously at least what it appears to not be anything like yours and Griffin. You guys seem really close in you guys' social media. Can you
Mhm.
talk about like coming into season 4 being the new guy and how the cast was?
Yeah, it's been such an incredible journey. And whenever I first started, Tanner Buchanan was the first person that I met. Came onto the set whenever I was just doing my stunt choreography and my fitting, and he just wanted to introduce himself, and that's when I first knew, okay, I'm gonna be on a great set because somebody's already welcoming me, and I haven't even started filming yet. And then the next day, I got to do my first scene. It was in episode 4. Whenever I was having a conversation in the dojo with Peyton, Joe, and Tanner about Hawk hazing me in the bathroom. And whenever we're having this conversation and everything, they were just so supportive. They were so supportive of me, and I was just a young kid, and I really didn't know too much about the style of acting, how quickly they move, because I was moving from one production to the next one. But they were all just so appreciative of the fact that I was so willing to learn, and I think that's what made it the camaraderie so effective on screen and off screen.
I think on screen, another actor you spent a lot of time with is Joe. if we go all the way back to the drive-in,
Yeah,
with Kyler and Kenny, and then the All Valley, and we'll come back to the All Valley, but also in season 5, where we see that dynamic also where Kyler thought he was the alpha,
yeah.
and this right then we see like Silver's kind of influence on Kenny and all that. Can you talk about your relationship with Joe on and off screen?
Yeah, I love Joe. I love Joe. Joe's my dog, man. Like from the moment that I got there, his Joe has so many like words of encouragement that are so effective, especially for somebody that's growing up in this society as a teenager, because he understands what it's like to be a teenager in the business as well. So the countless conversations that we've had, just about building your brand and understanding more about your craft, understanding and trying to figure out ways to connect with your character. He's been awesome, man, and having that relationship with him in season 5, where we actually got to have multiple scenes together. It was fun. It was fun. He's an exciting guy. He knows how to bring something new to the table every single scene. So it was good to play off of him as a character as well.
When season 4 you enter, at the end of season 4, Kenny is already in the All Valley, and you yourself is displaying a lot of athleticism and just kind of like where we saw Kenny, eating. I forgot, it was like a Pop Tart or a Rice Krispie treat. It might be Rice Krispie treat with M&Ms. I think that's what it was.
I think so too. It's good.
Yeah. So he's dancing, waiting for the school bus, and then all of a sudden he's kicking ass at the All Valley. Can you talk about your experience filming the All Valley, and what was something that was challenging that you had to overcome? Whether learning, physicality, stuff like that.
Yeah, filming the All Valley, it was nonstop action from the first day that we got to the set in Lithia Springs. Literally from the moment it was about 2 to 3 weeks. We were just doing the All Valley scenes for the last 2 episodes. It was a whirlwind. It was a whirlwind. Like it was. I think for me, it was so intimidating being around all of these different competitors because they were all so much older than me at the time. My biggest fear was just, I remember I was like, my biggest fear was messing up in front of all of these people who have done karate so long, and we're doing it in front of a stadium basically. Like the audience is right there, they're watching your every move as well. So I think the toughest part for me was the physicality aspect of it. Being able to relax whenever you have to do sequences with competitors that are much taller and much bigger than you. I remember I was terrified during my scene with Tanner, just because of the fact that he's been doing this since season 1. But he calmed my nerves down quickly because I think I was moving so quickly. We had a conversation just about like energy, giving each other energy and understanding, the pace that we have to go, because with the frames that it's going, there's no reason to go quickly. They're gonna make it in post production. They can make it go a lot quicker. So I think just the toughest thing that I had to do was relax and being, you know,
And kind of a similar thing with season 5. Um, the the big break in at the end of season 5, and we understand that in itself was a really big set in terms of the fighting as well. Can you talk about kind of the choreography and how fast you guys have to learn this stuff?
and this is for the season. You talk about the season 5
5,
breaking.
right?
Okay. Yeah. Let's see how. Okay. For that fight, I didn't have too much that I had to do. I learned that the night before. Literally the night before. I got a video. I got a video showing exactly what I had to do, and I was in my house in Atlanta, just working on it for a few hours. And then next, the next day we were able to get it. Uh, Usually we have an ample amount of time to figure it out, but because you have so many different storylines that you got to deal with, season 5 there were so many different fights. You got Terry Silverhouse, you got the break in, you got this, that, a bunch of different fights that they had to deal with. So I was able to learn it about 12 hours before filming it, for real.
It's not bad.
That's a little fast. That's a little
Yeah,
fast. You know
it's
what?
pretty good.
But I thought that filming the season 5 breaking was really cool, just because we had everybody in the same place at one time, all trying to get the same job done. So we were all, having a lot of fun times, offset, on set, dancing, singing, enjoying ourselves as well. And just to do the fight scene with a bunch of people at one time, that was really cool. Because that was my first time experiencing that.
See, that's the second mention of singing. I think you might be a bit of a closet singer. We just don't know about this yet.
Oh, hold on. I might need to figure that out a little bit, huh?
Yeah, like I said, the right See Breezy song comes on,
Exactly.
you probably hit those high notes too.
Right, right, right.
Um, Season 6, we see the return of Emil Quarry, who plays your older brother Sean. Can you talk about your relationship with OK on and off screen as well?
Okay. Love my man. Okay. Like from he was I looked up to him from the moment that I met him. Really, like you could tell he is like a big brother in real life. Like and he reminds me so much of my big brother as well. He's so supportive and he's there for you. He's somebody that's going to have your back no matter what. And whether you just met him or you've been on the set for a long time with him, and just being able to have conversations about like growing up and starting to figure out your life outside of being a child actor and going into college. We had so many conversations about that. Just figuring out things and getting some more insight on what his perspective is of everything that happens once you hit 18 and become an adult actor. And then just life period. Like he's a really cool person and an outstanding actor.
Now, in the scene at Golf and Stuff in episode 1, did you know that you and Tanner did kind of a recreation of a Karate Kid moment, first movie?
Yeah, we did. We did. We
Yeah.
and we knew that because of the fact that one of the ads the night before in a group chat sent us the video of the Karate Kid scene. I would have completely forgotten if I didn't see that. And when we were watching this, and I'm like, oh, it's this literally happened in the show in the movie before.
Yeah, so I got the screeners and I was able to see that a few weeks in advance, and so I knew that Kenny plays a Space Invaders,
Mm,
and for my son's 12th birthday, I took him to a retro arcade, and they actually had that same Space Invaders, and so I
awesome.
had him film me as like Robbie,
Yeah.
and instead of like going don't shoot, I was like dodging all of Kenny's shots. I was like, hey,
Oh, that's cool.
so yeah, so I worked it in there. It was getting a little love on the gram there, so I'll have to tag you in that.
For sure.
Um, uh, you have spoken about Tanner, like season 4 and how welcoming he was. Um, what has your relationship been like over these years, like off camera? Like, has Tanner kind of taken you under the wing, or are you like I don't know if it's kind of cliquish, with the core students and their sequences. Like, I don't know how you guys split up, like when you guys aren't filming.
Yeah, Tanner was like my mentor, especially whenever I was growing up. And then as once I came back for season 6, it was just like we were best friends, really. Like we were homeboys because of the fact that I was a little more grown up. But whenever I was younger, like he took me under his wing. He showed me the ropes for real. He showed me everything that I needed to know, everything I needed to understand to really tap into the character of Kenny and figure out dynamics with all the other cast members. And then even Offset, like the conversations we've had, and he's a really cool person just to hang out with and enjoy time and just to be there. Like he's a fun guy, fun. He enjoys himself, and he's a really cool person to work with as well.
And as we get ready to wrap up with season 6, we still got two more parts, 10 more episodes. What was the most fun you had so far during part 1? Was it
Most
the Barnes training?
the most fun that I had was the forest. The
Oh,
forest.
okay.
Yes. Even though I did crap myself, every sequence that happened in the forest, the running, the trying to capture the flag, like Jacob and I were trying to race each other in real life. So it was funny because there was a moment that I can't believe that they actually used it. But literally, I told him I was like, bro, I do want you to know I'm about to beat you like right now. And he was like, nah, no, you won't. And that's why in that first moment, we're running, like we're actually going as fast as we can. I trip my second step going, and I'm watching the screeners, and I just remember I was like, please don't use the one that where I trip, and they used the one where I trip, and I kept running though. I got my balance. I kept running, but yeah, I think that was really fun having that competitive fire between the two of us was exciting.
Oh, well, so that part was real. That wasn't scripted that you slipped or whatever.
No,
It just
no,
happened.
that literally just happened. Like I was so eager to go, and then next thing you know, I slipped, and everybody in the background when I did that, oh, and then I kept going.
I think it's one of those things that it was so raw that you have to use it. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's what you're trying to capture already. So I think
yeah,
that's really cool.
literally,
Well,
yeah.
now again, I mentioned we got 10 more episodes. We don't know what we have in store for Kenny, but Dallas, if I know you were starting to do more stuff on your Discord or your YouTube, so if you want to pimp any of those out, where people can like tune in to some of your streams.
Yeah, so I stream on Twitch now. It is at Dallas Dupree Young. I've been having a lot of fun streaming gaming, different Cobra Kai reactions. I've been slacking just a little bit at the moment just because I got school and everything. Just for everybody who's been wondering where I've been, so much work in it with baseball. Just trying to balance those two things. But then I also have a YouTube channel, so anything you miss from my Twitch will go straight to my YouTube channel. It's at Dallas Dupree Young 21.